What up, Jay Dizzle? Glad to see you up on the show. That's what we doing tonight. Yeah. Yeah. We about to go back to the Calvary. The Calvary's coming. Yeah, that right there. See, some of us we forgot that we was kept when everything go wrong, we had to call the Calvary in. So I figured I'd rock with them tonight and come on in myself. Yeah, that right there. Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
It's about that time, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Run it with your friends. Come on.
Come on.
It's a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still trouble in your home. Got your tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Get the answers to your questions because we speak that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your wealth. Keep it moving, spirit flowing because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling Wednesday 8 and 9. And it's on.
Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show when people at night. That's right. It is the Sinclair Show coming to you live and direct. And tonight it is on and popping. And like the theme song says, don't miss a moment of the show tonight, because we got something a little bit different to talk about. It's different, but it ain't different. And I ain't even gonna put the person name out there that gave me this concept, because you know people be talking a lot, but then when you say you're gonna put them out there on that show, they don't want their name to get called out because of the potential controversy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. First, I want to thank all of you all who continue to send your mailbag questions, comments, thoughts, and whatever it is, whatever it ain't, to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. And I'm going to continue to vibe with y'all because y'all the valued listeners. And what does that mean? That means without you all, I wouldn't even have to be here. I could be in my bed resting right now, getting some sleep, if you will. But now, instead, I'm armored up, coming with the cavalry. Yeah, that right there. Everybody can't get down with that. First person on the show tonight was Jay Dizzle. He talking about, hey to all y'all. Yeah. Everything. He done talked about the little cavalry. Yeah, baby. That's how we got it. What up, James Key? Glad to see you on the show. And look, people, let me say something. For all of y'all that be out there listening land talking about, oh, you ain't send me no shout out. If you don't holler at me, I ain't hollering at you. Oh, yeah, they go Sue right there. What's going on, girl? Glad to see you on the show. Doing your thing. Probably ready to raise a little cane, if you will. But that's all right. But anyway, I know it's some more out there. Look, y'all, we got some low-key listeners. Uh-oh, Detective Pamela Black. What's going on, girl? Glad to see you on the show. I ain't even going to tell y'all. Y'all, look, y'all know how I always be talking about your boy, Ray. Ray on the show. Yeah, Ray on the show, Veronica. I ain't even talking about Veronica. I'm talking about Ray's Veronica. It'd be a whole bunch of people out here on the show that be low-key listening. They don't want to say nothing because they don't want y'all to know they really some Sinclair Show fans. But I'm going to let them fly below the radar. And look, speaking of that, let me tell y'all something. Y'all ever had people in your circle, right? So I got a group of people. So I ain't even gonna tell you where they are in my circle, but they was handling a situation, right? And so I said to them, uh-oh, y'all, there go your girl JC. We know it's gonna be some controversy tonight. But anyway, so I said to this person, I said, look, there are 3 ways that you can land a plane. You can crash landing, which nobody wants to crash landing, right? Or you can have a little rocky, a little turbulent landing, or you can have a smooth landing. So I told the person, I said, hey, whatever you do, land the plane softly. It wasn't 30 minutes later, I was having to put out a fire because they done crash landed the plane. So don't let that go over your head. Sometimes just because you can be a little aggressive about something doesn't mean that you have to be. So we're gonna let that sizzle in your spirit. All right. But look, people, aside from all of the tomfoolery going on, look, they are determined that they're gonna get y'all boy Donald Trump. Listen, for my Republican connoisseurs, I ain't trying to get in y'all business, but I was watching the news, trying to stay abreast of all of the nonsense that goes on, and they caught Donald Trump coming back from Scotland or someplace over there. Uh-oh, y'all. There go y'all girl, the one and only Veronica. What's going on, Veronica? We glad to have you on the show tonight. And so, as old Donald Trump was coming back, some reporters got to asking him about his relationship with Epstein and how they had a falling out. Now, when you the president, regardless to whether you like the president or not, regardless to whether you voted for him, support him or not, he's supposed to surround himself with some, yes, all is well, I must confess. You're supposed to surround yourself with people that prevent you from making a fool out of yourself, right? Uh-oh, y'all. There go y'all girl, my arch nemesis, Nikki Carter, straight off the Me Too movement. But anyway, so they was talking to y'all boy, Donald J. Trump, and they asked him about this relationship between him and Epstein and why they had a falling out. So this is what this dude said. He said they had a falling out because Epstein was hanging out at one of his hotels and was stealing his young girls. All right, now, I can't make this up. This fool said he fell out with Epstein because they had some young girls working in the spa. And no, hold on, JC. No, he wasn't in Scotland neck. He was in Scotland, period. Uh-oh. There go Veronica Bivens in, and Ray is in the house. Uh-oh. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. They ain't in the closet watching no more. Now they all out here on Main Street with us. But think about it, y'all. I'm shocked that Donald J. Trump don't have people around him that could be like, hey, yo, you can't say I fell out with a pedophile because he was stealing young girls from me. You can't say that in good conscience. And I just got to ask y'all people out there in thought land, all right? How in the Sam Blazing Hills so desensitized to the foolishness that this dude has, then y'all just don't say, like, you know what, whatever he say or do, I'm down with. Listen, I do believe that when you're the president, and I've said this, I'm an independent, I can tell y'all how I really feel anyway. I have said for a long time that from my perspective, I don't have to like who y'all vote in, but once y'all vote them in, the office of the president, we got to rock with. Okay. But I got to have a line that I draw in the sand. My line in the sand is this dude said out of his own mouth, nobody provoked him. They was asking some questions. And to be fair, this is what he said. He said they was cool and Epstein was coming. I don't know if he was talking about Mar-a-Lago or whatever, but he said Epstein would come through. And while he walking around his hotels and going to the spa, and he said, I got one of the best spas at Mar-a-Lago. He said, bruh was stealing his employees. Okay. So I was cool with that. Hold on. Nikki Carter. First of all, this hat was a gift, and I don't have no problems with wearing it. Mind what they call your business. I'm a mind mine, right? Let it be like that. See, Nikki Carter, I'm prepared. My energy tonight. Matter of fact, I've been told that my energy was a little suspect. So y'all might hear me say anything to y'all. So you might want to stay on the edge of Sinclairville. All right. But anyway, so when they asked him about dude taking his employees, another reporter on Air Force One clarifies. He said, hey, was the employees that he stole from you, were they young girls? He said, y'all done heard it all. Yes, they were. He stole her. First of all, how somebody she ain't even yours. You admit she was a young girl and you didn't fall out with him because he was sneaking and he was convicted of it, so I ain't got to say allegedly. You didn't fall out because dude was on Epstein Island with you and probably Bill Clinton and a whole bunch of other people, and y'all was messing with underage girls. You didn't fall out with him because of that. You said you fell out with this fool because he stole your underage girl from your quote unquote young girl from Mar-a-Lago. Ain't no way that it ain't some criminals around here. JC said he can't get mad because he don't have no game. Now listen, I don't know if Trump got game or not. Trump got to have some kind of game because he got most of y'all to vote for him. I'm just saying. Look, people, I'm not even going to get distracted on Trump. I seen that and it just, as old people say, it just took me aback that this fool would even say that out loud. And listen, I don't need none of them black SUVs pulling up to the house either. I just want to make it clear. Yeah, Jay said he wilding. And listen, for my Republican homeboys and homegirls, I don't want you to think I made this up. All you got to do, you can go turn on the news and they've been playing it all afternoon. That's your boy saying that. Are we talking about Shannon Sharp tonight? No. What you want to talk about? He settled the case. What you want me to do about that? You know what? Shut up, Nikki Carter. Don't even talk to me. No, I'm gonna tell y'all what we're gonna talk about. As the little headline showed, I got this topic, right? And this topic came because it was given to me in the form of a question. So I'm giving the question to you all. I might be paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact words, but here's what it suggested. The title of the night show is Loyalty Without Love. Can it be enough? All right. Now, imagine this. Imagine you are in a relationship and every single one of your needs, okay, all the stuff that's important to you, they loyal, they faithful, they there for you emotionally, financially, physically, they respect you, they support your dreams, they got your back no matter what. That type of person. That's what all y'all looking for, right? But the one little hiccup in the thing is they ain't in love with you. So the question is, tonight's show is about, can you be in a long-term healthy relationship with someone who meets all of your needs. They Mr. or Mrs. everything you want. They just ain't in love with you. Now, that don't mean they ain't got love for you. Like play cousins. But they ain't in love with you. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Could you live with that? More importantly, would you choose to be in a relationship where somebody, hold on, is they still talking about teenage girl? Let me get off them. Well, first of all, Nikki Carter, you can hang up. We don't even like you no way. They like you. I don't really like you no how. But, so the question, and this is not based on gender. This is just a general question because the question was given to me, so I'm giving it to y'all. If somebody met all of your requirements, got your back, down like 4 flat tires, in the trenches with you, they make sure you're good mentally, physically, financially, otherwise, they just ain't in love with you. All right? Uh-oh. You know what? Nikki Carter, I'm gonna give you some respect tonight. Nikki Carter asking genuine questions. Nikki Carter is adding another piece. Her other piece is, do we have to be faithful? Nikki Carter, ain't nobody hating on you. Dr. Beverly Key, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you in the house. Now, Nikki Carter has, who are they in love with? JC says, well, if they ain't in love with you, who they in love with? Now, JC, I didn't dig deep in, I didn't jump in the ocean with this. These might be, and y'all might be giving me some questions to go back and ask, because first and foremost, let me read it back to you now. This is the scenario. Who is this? Selena Harold, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you on the show. So again, here's the purview, the statement, if you will. Imagine you in a relationship where every single one of your needs is met. Your other part, the person on the other side of your pillow is loyal, they faithful, they're in there for you emotionally, physically, and financially. They respect you, they support your dreams, they got your back no matter what. There's just one thing missing. They are not in love with you. I ain't say they didn't have love for you, but they not in love with you. So right out the gate, old slickster side chick number 5 proposer herself, Nikki Carter said, do we got to be faithful? You know what, Nikki Carter? That's the reason why you are probably side chick material. You probably ain't primary material, because look at where your mind is. We asking about a series of things. The first thing you want to know is, can you cheat? That's what you good at, probably. Nikki said, how can you be all of that but not in love with the person? Well, that's a good question, but Nikki Carter, we got to be fair. Let's go line by line. It's possible for somebody to be loyal to you and not in love with you. So yes, you can check that box off, all right? Nigga calling talking about absolutely no side chick here. Girl, please. Number 2, they can be faithful. A person can be faithful to you and not be in love with you. Number 3 says they're there for you emotionally. Yes, a person can be there for you emotionally and not be in love. Physically, a person can be physical with you and not in love with you. Financially, a person can support you financially and not be in love with you. They can respect your dreams and they can have your back. So, Nikki Carter, the answer to your question is everything that is proposed in this, the answer is a person can do those things. JC said, I feel like that's a win. Loyalty, faithful, got your back, etc. So, and listen, we not judging on the Sinclair Show tonight. So, JC, You saying that it is possible. That's one vote. Got one vote for yes, it's possible. Now, JC, let me ask you this question. Since you the first courageous person to step up to the plate and answer, do you believe that it can be a successful relationship? Answer that question, JC. And again, JC get my respect because she the first person to even answer it. Unlike Nikki Carter want to know, can she slip and slide and get her a side dude and do all kind of, you know what, Nikki Carter, more I think about it, I ought to put you off this show just because how ignorant you be talking sometimes. Ain't nobody even brought up sleeping with nobody else, but that's you. You lack a moral compass. You want to know, can you cheat right off the bat? A person doing everything for you, making sure you good, got your back, they loyal, they faithful. The first thing out your mouth is, can I cheat? Tisk, tisk, tisk. Niggas saying, doing all this, it sounds like a business arrangement. Jeez Louise. Well, you know what, Nikki Carter? Maybe you got a point. So, everybody listening to land, Nikki Carter brings up the point, is what you really have not a relationship, but a business arrangement. And the question is, does it matter? JC said, as long as it's not one-sided, yes, it can be successful. So JC is implying that as long as both people are loyal, got each other's back, in the trenches, taking care of the person. Now, okay, JC says, as long as it's equal and we're on the same page, yes, it can be. Nikki said, facts not entered into evidence. Nikki, gone with them lies. I didn't ask if I could cheat. Well, what did you, well, hold on, Line Carter. I could go right back up. See, that's the good thing about technology. I could go back up to what you said. You said, hold on, let me go on. I'm going to find where you said it at. Here it is right there. That's your question right there, Nikki Carter. Do we have to be faithful? Okay. If you asking, do you have to be faithful, Nikki Carter, then that means you talking about being with somebody else. Don't try to play us. You in the bear den tonight. We ain't trying to hear that tomfoolery. You did ask if you could cheat. Matter of fact, you asked if both of y'all could. So stop lying. Now, so JC said if everything is equal. What about the rest of y'all? Okay. First of all, let's break this down. What does it really mean to have all your needs met? The pros and cons of staying in a relationship without romantic love. What does science and psychology say about love versus loyalty? And most importantly, how you can figure out if this kind of relationship could work for you. So let's do some breakdowns here. Let's be clear. When people say all my needs are met, they are usually talking about a few key things. One, emotional support. What is that? Someone who listens, validates, and make you feel understood. That's emotional support. Loyalty is, you know, they won't cheat, betray, or abandon. Now, let me tell y'all something. Loyalty is described as you knowing in your spirit, in your soul, in your subconscious that this person is not going to cheat. Well, Nikki Carter, you can skedaddle because you are, well, let me rewind, because you didn't say cheat. You asking about both of them. So you saying, can we see other people? That wouldn't be cheating if both of y'all agreed to it. It might be stupid or it might not be, depending on, because you sound like you borderline in a polyamorous relationship. But it says loyalty is when you know a person won't cheat, betray, or abandon you. Now, let me tell y'all something. I believe that it would be difficult to be in a relationship where, as Nikki Carter has said, that they get to go and be with other people without at some point the person on the other side of your pillow is going to perceive some abandonment because the first time that you want to go and be with somebody else, but they feel like cuddling or they feel like having some their time with you, they're going to feel like you're choosing that other person, unless you Nikki Carter and her polyamorous relationships. JC said, I think it's plenty, not all, 50-year marriages, not everybody in love, but they have love for each other and all needs are met. JC, you know what? I ain't even knocking what you're saying because you are answering in an articulate manner. So we're going to give you credit for that. Stability, financial, emotional, and day-to-day reliability. Can you really be reliable to a person if, well, the answer to this is yes. You can be reliable to a person and not be in love with them. Nikki Carter, I don't believe that you can long-term be reliable to a person that once you start having somebody else that you sleeping with or being with, because at some point, the other person is going to demand something of you in time, in presence, that there is going to come a conflict and you will have to make a choice. Respect. Your boundaries are honored. Your individuality is valued. Companionship. You're not alone. They're in the big and small moments. Okay. Let's rock with that last one. You're not alone. They're in the big and small moments. The problem or potential problem with that is companionship is different. It is different because some of you will view companionship as when I get ready to go somewhere, this person going with me. When I get ready to do this, they right there with me. But if the other person on the cool side of your pillow looks at companionship and how they feel or how you make them feel from an emotional standpoint, you will always leave them with their tank on E because you can't provide a level of non-physical intimacy that connects with them because you're not in love. There is something different about a person who is in love with you. James said that both sides are all in what all of those attributes involve. That's the closest you can get to in love. Well, I'm not knocking anything y'all saying, but if any of you have ever been in love, it's something different about the way a person look at you when they in love. It's something different about the way that a person touches your hand when you in love. It's something different about the way that a person says your name or the way they look at you when they in love. Now, you may say, most of these people that I deal with ain't gonna be in love with me anyway. I submit to you that, and let me be fair, a person can grow to be in love with you. Usually, most relationships will happen where there will be a physical attraction, and then you will spend time with a person and it can grow into something greater. But I don't believe that a person who has ever experienced either being in love or loving someone themselves or somebody being in love with you, there's not a substitute for in love. That doesn't mean that we don't settle. I just submit that at some point, somebody's going to get emotionally tired of settling because every now and then, we all want somebody to look at us like, you the next sandwich on the plate. And that's what people do when they end something, okay? When you got remember back in the day when y'all used to have Hamburger Helper when y'all wasn't rich, and you got that cheeseburger, Hamburger Helper, and that first little spoonful, you look different when you ate that. Marcus, keep what's going on. That's what I'm talking about, big dog. That's how we get down with them hats. But I'm just saying to you, so I don't want to discount can you have a healthy relationship, because I believe that JC has certainly stated, y'all. Oh, here we go right now. Veronica Bivens, that's her and Ray out there hanging out, says it takes more than just being in love with someone. Hey, first of all, Veronica, you're absolutely right. Don't get too aggressive with your tonage now. But the thing about it is, it absolutely takes more than that. The question was not, can you sustain a relationship long-term with being in love? Ain't nobody asked that. Veronica, I don't know what you and Ray got going on up in there, but we're going to push past that. I'm going to give you a pass because it's your first time on the show. But that ain't what we asked. I'm saying to you, I believe most relationships will go through periods of time when a person doesn't feel as strongly based on the ebbs and flows of the relationship. Let me say that. But I'm telling you, if you ever had a person look at you and you could tell by the way they looked at you that you was their person in here, it's hard to say, I'll be content forever, never experiencing that. And let me just ask this question. Do you run the risk when you're not in love with somebody, but you're supplying all these other things? Does it make it easy for somebody else to come around the corner and look at your person like that? And then there'll be some conflict of emotion. Nikki Carter said, Marcus Key, I can't say, he might put me out. You know what? You're right, Nikki Carter. I will hit the delete button on you so fast, you better recognize. But think about it, people. And again, there is no right or wrong answer. If you ask me my personal opinion, which y'all know Uncle Cindy Sin will give, I do believe that you can sustain a relationship. Matter of fact, I would dare to say that, hey, Marcus, do not egg her on, because y'all will be like, where's Waldo? Y'all will be talking about, where's Nikki Carter? We ain't seen her because she got blacklisted from the show. But I believe that you can sustain a healthy relationship with somebody if everybody is putting forth the effort to meet the other person's needs. I believe that. I just don't subscribe to the fact that any of you out there in listening land who has ever had somebody in love with you, I don't believe that you would say to yourself, I don't care if I never have that, as long as I got these things. Because let me break this down to you. See, I'm gonna hit y'all with some grown man stuff. James said, be careful with Nikki Carter. Yeah, because Nikki Carter gonna get up out of here. Nikki Carter, no inclination of which you speak. See, I want y'all to understand this. JC said, so are we talking not never in love or falling out of love with your person? Well, you know what, JC, that's an interesting question. I don't have an answer for you too, because that's a alternative theory. I'm saying, at what point, or is there a point that if a person is never in love with you, right? Yeah, we already said she had a good question, Nikki Carter. If a person has never been in love with you, and some of y'all gonna disagree with me, and I'm okay with it, because that's what the show is about. I would dare to say everything that's on this list. Now, let me look at the list again. The list says that the person is taken care of. They said you're in a relationship where every single one of your needs is met. They loyal, they're faithful, they're in for you emotionally, physically, financially, they respect, they support your dreams, they got your back. Let me ask you a question. And again, I'm not judging. I'm not judging anybody but Nikki Carter. Nikki said, Marcus, I told him at the top of the show we had a Confederate. Hey, look, I don't care what you told him. Nikki Carter, you keep running your mouth, and I know what we're going to have. We're going to have one less person named Nikki Carter on the show. But anyway, let's circle back. Which of those items can you not do for yourself? Because there comes a point when if you are in a relationship with someone who is not in love with you, then we're talking about being in a relationship where, Annie Moore, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you, of course. If you're in a relationship with someone who does not love you, but they do all the other stuff, all of the other stuff you can do for yourself or you can get from some other location. So for what reason, okay, for what reason would you say that it is the right choice? JC says, see, that might change my answer. If I was never in love with you, then I don't know if that's possible. See, JC, that's what I'm talking about. I tip my Confederate wings off to you. But I want y'all to understand that, again, there is no right and wrong answer because I believe, quite honestly, most relationships find themselves through certain waves of them as not being the in love, but being more of a commitment and supportive space to be in. But if you had a choice to be in a relationship with somebody who's in love with you, but they don't, let's say they only meet 80% of your requirements or your needs, or you can be in a relationship with somebody that meets 100% of your needs, but they not in love with you, which would you pick? What's going on, Robin? Glad to see you on the show tonight. I just feel like that, Essie Shepherd, what's going on? See, we got them hats on tonight. I rocks with Essie. That's my armor bearer. Bear arms, please, because we might have to do somebody in on the show tonight. I ain't gonna call no names, if you will. But I happen to believe that most of you may feel like it ain't a bad deal if you with somebody that loves you, they just not in love with you, but they do everything else right on your list. And again, I'm not judging. I just wonder why we're so easy to discount the power of somebody being in love with you. And is there an inherent risk that somebody else could come along and be in love with your person, and then what you gonna do? See, because I just feel like there is, let me see. Annie said, I would rather be in love in my relationship. I can live without the 80%. Y'all. That's that grown woman talking right there. I keep trying to tell y'all. See, some of y'all, and again, nobody's answer is wrong. But I'm starting to have a sense, JC said, if love is not in the equation, then they're not meeting 100%. I'll take the 80%. Okay, that's your philosophy. Nothing wrong with it. But I noticed how when the seasoned veterans get on here, their philosophy is different because, and potentially it's because they done live life a little bit longer than some. they've had some experiences, because at a certain point, nothing that you can do for me that I can do for myself matters. Let me be clear. There is a yeah, Marcus, I said season. See, that means I done learned to be politically correct. Veronica said needs come first for most people. Maybe they do, Veronica. And again, I'm not judging them, but I want you to understand that there is a perspective that says, if I can meet my own needs, the only thing that I can't out of all of these is that in love piece. Okay. Now, Marcus, I never said, oh, you trying to get me hemmed up. No, sir. I said season. You can take it for whatever you want to. But I want y'all to understand that, because I think what's happening is many of you are defending the idea of, hey, because you all may have been in relationships where, hey, you wasn't even getting all your other needs met and you didn't feel like the person was in love with you. But I'm asking, and matter of fact, the question has grown, because it initially started off with, was it possible to be in a successful relationship with someone if the person was not in love with you? I think we all agree that you can. I think we sprinkle another factor in if we say, can you be in a long-term successful relationship where there is no cheating if the person opposite of you on the other side of the cool side of the pillar is not in love with you and not providing that thing that some need? Can that relationship sustain, or is there an inherent risk that if somebody else comes around and it becomes in love with your person and shows them that type of energy that they long and crave inside, can your relationship sustain it? That, as Nikki Carter described, is somewhat business or transactional. Marcus said, is there such a thing as a successful relationship without love? Now, let me be clear. It was never stated that a person wouldn't have love for you. But the question was about being in love, because everybody will say, oh man, I love you. You know what? Every time I talk to Johnny, before we get off the phone, I say, I love you, man. Every time I talk to my mama, I say, hey, love you, mama. Every time I talk to my sister, I say, I love you. That ain't the same thing. You can have a relevant love for a person that you want the best for them. You can have a love for a person where you say, hey, I don't never want nothing bad to happen to that person. I give that person my last dime. I rocks with that person. That ain't the same energy that you get from somebody that's in love with you. A person in love with you, that energy make you come home quick. It make you not even stop by the store. JC says, sounds like they are still showing up the same based on your list. Well, no, JC, that's not what it sounds like. Again, I can come home and you be there and you be polite and you be friendly and we interact. That is not the same thing as I come home to a woman that's in love with me that couldn't wait for me to get there because she just wanted to be in my presence. That's a different feel. See, that's why I ain't so quick to want to say, hey, it's equal. It ain't equal to me. Because a person that got love for you and that is supportive, that's the same thing that you got for your kids. That's the same thing you got for your homegirl that y'all been rocking with each other forever. You got her back. You're going to be there for her. If they need something, you're going to break bread with them. That is not the same thing as I call you in the middle of the day because I just want to know how you doing. You'll call somebody that you in a relationship with that you're not in love with. You'll call them in the middle of the day and ask them what they want for dinner. You'll call them in the middle of the day and ask them, hey, did you pay that bill? You'll call them in the middle of the day and ask them a generic type question. That is not the same energy as I call you in the middle of the day. I might be asking what you got on. I call you in the middle of the day. When you in love with somebody, let me see what Jay Dizzle. Jay Dizzle said, love and in love are definitely two different feelings / emotions. Tell about it, Jay Dizzle. Marcus said, that's how my wife is. She waits until I get home. That's what I'm talking about. And again, I'm not knocking anybody who says the other can be successful. It can be successful in relative terms. But if any of you are saying that it's the same, you crazy. It is not the same. See, because just because you at the house when I get there is not the same as you couldn't wait for me to get there. Them two different emotions. Just because you are taking care of somebody's financial needs or taking care and being supportive, your person tells you, hey, I got a show tonight, or hey, I'm in a dance class, or hey, I got something going on at church and I want you to go with me. You went because they asked. You didn't go because you wanted to be there. When you in love with somebody, you want to be where they at. That's a different type of energy. When you got love for somebody and you want the best for them and you got their back, you will do anything for them. That's the type of thing where when you, let's say you go somewhere and y'all together, when you just together, that person make sure you got anything. Hey, you need anything? Hey, you want anything? That is a responsiveness to the role. But when you in love with somebody, you can't even keep your paws off of them. You want to put your hand on their shoulder. You want to hold hands with them. You want to hit them on the behind when they walk past you in the kitchen. They got to tell you to stop because you just all up in their space. There's a difference. And I'm not saying some of y'all don't want that kind of energy. JC said, you're not going wrong when you're right, but I still think it's sustainable. Hey, and again, that's why I said, JC, I'm not knocking people who say I can settle for that type of relationship and be okay with it. I just don't want us to confuse and marginalize, if you will, the fact that when somebody is in love with you, I'm talking about there is no greater feeling. I was listening to, matter of fact, I was listening to Usher, right? And Usher got this song called Superstar, right? And in the song, Usher is so enamored with the person, and he said that's his superstar. And he got a line in there where Usher said he drove 12 hours just to be at the concert with the person because he was in love with the person. Superstar. When you in love with somebody, that's a superstar mode. So again, can you, if we're answering yes or no questions, can you be in a successful relationship long-term with somebody who's got love, respect, loyalty, got your back, all these things? Absolutely. I believe you can. But don't get it twisted. In that type of relationship, when the person is not in love with you, you missing something, dog. You missing it. That person don't even look at you with them same eyes. When somebody is in love with you, you got to ask them, what you staring at? Because they don't never be not looking at you. They find the best of you in the worst of yourself. That person looks at you, and when you sitting around talking about, oh, I need to lose weight, that person talking about, no. Every curve, stretch mark, every part of you, that person looking at it talking about, no, that stretch mark right there is my stretch mark. That's when somebody in love with you. When somebody ain't in love with you and you say, ooh, I need to lose weight, them Negroes gonna tell you, yeah, you probably could stand to go to the gym. That's what they gonna tell you. Because they don't feel the same way. They supportive. They supportive of you wanting to lose a few pounds, but don't get it twisted. The person that's in love with you will almost choke you for finding an imperfection in yourself. Absolutely not. How dare you say that? You tell them, oh, I want to cut my hair. They're going to say, babe, whatever you want to do. But I thought you liked it when it was long. I like it any way you like it. You don't even have to ask a person in love with you, well, how do you like this outfit? On you, I love it. Because when they in love with you, you're okay just like you are. Veronica Bivens talking about we get the point. Let me tell you something, Veronica. You sound like a hater. It feels like you hating. Don't get the hating because I'm expressive and saying that these are true things. I don't care if you get the point. Look here, let me tell you something, Veronica. You're going to get put off the show. Where's the other Veronica at? I need the other more open, broad-minded Veronica to be up here. JC talking about you talking fairy tales now. JC, you a lie. Let me go and tell you, you a lie. Now, anybody else up here ever been in love with somebody and everything about them just make you feel a certain kind of way? Ray Rodden. Look here, Ray, let me tell you something. You need to think about, you need to look at your paperwork, look at your contract with Veronica, because I'm looking at what she's saying up here. There's some fine print you probably need to go back and reread. I think that there are some clauses as an attorney I can probably find a loophole if you need to escape out of it. Matter of fact, Ray, if something going wrong, I want you to blink twice, if you will. We're going to come and save Ray. Because I'm telling y'all right now, y'all ain't got to rock with me on this. But I'm going to say this to Veronica Bivens. I'm going to say it to JC. I'm going to say it to old Nikki Carter. You don't have to accept what I'm saying. But if you feel some kind of way, it's because you know I'm telling the truth. Because even if you ain't in that space right now, you done been in that space before, where just seeing a person made you feel different. And you know the difference between when you settling and when you ain't. And so don't get mad if you done lost the ability to have that kind of love. But I'm not saying that people that don't have that should not be okay with the other things. Let me see what Annie talking about. See, let me tell y'all something. That right there, I keep telling y'all, that's a grown woman talking right there. She said, I rocks with you on this. And I thank you for that. Veronica talking about we got the love. Veronica, please stop talking. This y'all first time being on the show, and I'm thinking about blocking you as is, no warranty. But I want y'all to understand something. Again, this is not me judging y'all. I just want y'all to, the whole purpose of the show, I just want us to be honest. Because there's some people out there, it's some young folks out there ain't never been to this space before. Ain't never heard nobody have real conversation. Okay? I just want y'all to understand that when we're talking about experiencing somebody being in love with you, and for y'all young people in the cheap seats, I must confess that love is an emotion. And it does go up and down. Okay? and that it does take work to maintain. And a person can have the highest level, and based on how you treat them, it can be a way that they have damaged it. You can get it back over time. And he said, if I can't get the kind of love you're talking about, keep it. Look at there. That's what I'm talking about. And again, I don't want some of y'all to wind up by yourselves. So I'm not knocking what's working for you. I'm not even judging. I'm saying don't devalue, don't marginalize in love, because in love is the type of feeling. You cannot duplicate that with all other things. It's like when you, let me see what they said. You right. Okay. I'm rocking with y'all a little bit. I want y'all to understand and not give up on the in love aspect of it. Because really, I think most people start off with respect. I think over a period of time, and I don't want y'all to confuse infatuation with in love. See, infatuation is a point where somebody can't take their eyes off you because of how you physically look. That's not the same as in love. Because let me tell you something. You can be in love with somebody that is not attractive, but you can't see nothing but beauty in them. That's like James Evans being in love with Florida. Now, Florida wasn't no dime piece, but James will put them paws on you behind Florida. And so in love ain't got nothing to do with the shape. In love is about your person being your person. In love is about what levels emotionally. You can't buy in love. You can buy companionship. Okay? You can buy loyalty. Everything else, I can buy you being with me in a certain location. I cannot buy you feeling a certain way about me that in the middle of the day, for no reason at all, you just want to hear my voice. You can't pay for that. JC said, ooh, don't talk about Florida like that. Hey, listen, we all know Florida wasn't no dime piece. She was a good woman, though. But to James, she was 10 on 10. And so again, people, I'm not going to berate this conversation. And first and foremost, let me thank all of y'all that participated tonight. I think this was one of our better shows because there were so many different perspectives. Let me say this to Nikki Carter. I'm glad that you were, okay, well, the best feeling in the world to be in love. You're right. And Veronica, let me say this to you and Ray and to everybody else. In love won't work if the other pieces aren't there. The other pieces may work for a while, but every now and then some in love has to be there. JC said that definitely cannot be bought. You're right. And I wanted to say that, and Nikki Carter, I know I clown with you a lot, but let me say this. I appreciate all of your perspectives, and I appreciate the fact that you come on and have been coming on for the last 7-8 years. And I just want y'all to keep that in mind, because in love is something that we have stopped striving for. And even if you don't have it on day 1 or day 365, I believe that if you keep rocking with somebody and you treat them the way you want to be treated, at a certain point, you will find the in love, because you will stop wanting to be places that your person can't be. You will start looking at your person and seeing the best in them rather than the things that you can change about them. So you decide what you want to be. I wish y'all nothing but the best. And it's time for me to check out. Because you know what? The Sinclair Show gotta go.
It's about that time, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Run it with your friends, come on.
Come
So
on.
it's a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still trouble in your home. Got you tripping, don't know